to the second day of the third International Symposium of Earth, Energy, Environmental Science and Sustainable Development 2022. My name is Anissa Mayangsari from School of Environmental Science, University of Indonesia, and I will be your Master of Ceremony for this year's event. This event is aimed to advance scientific knowledge and understanding of the theoretical, methodological, and practical aspects of environmental science and sustainable development, featuring world-class speakers and editors worldwide, such as from Malaysia, South Korea, Ukraine, Thailand, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, Brazil, Poland, China, Germany, Tunisia, and Indonesia. To enhance our knowledge exchange and learning from various backgrounds all around the world. This year's International Symposium is organized by the Journal of Environmental Science and Sustainable Development, School of Environmental Science, University of Indonesia, and supported by Danone Indonesia, Indo Koperasi Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, PT Arlindo Grafimedia, PT Rio Andalam Pulp and Paper, Bank Rakyat Indonesia, APP Sinarmas, Harita Nickel, Greenera Consulting, Pertamina Patraniaga, Starbond Chemical, PT Primakana Energi, PT Waskita Karya, Roatex, One Global Synergy, Lintas Arta, and also co-organized with Himpasiling Universitas Indonesia 2022. Before we start our day, please kindly listen to the national anthem of Republic of Indonesia, followed by Hymne Universitas Indonesia, performed by Paragita Universitas Indonesia.
Indonesia
Before we begin the session, I would like to kindly ask your attendants to open your camera to take a screenshot photo to document today's agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you permission to open your camera and put your best smile for documentation process. It will take like 5 pages, so stand still. Okay, the first page, 1, 2, 3. Second page, 1, 2, 3. Okay, third page, 1, 2, 3. Okay, fourth page, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last one, 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And for the next, please see our video sponsorship that support our third Journal of Environmental Science and Sustainable Development Symposium.
Over the past year, we have taken action to advance our April 2030 commitments and targets while contributing to the global climate movement from Indonesia. We are working hard to deliver a positive impact on climate, nature and people while growing as a sustainable producer of fibre and bio-based products. Along with our partners, we're making sure that the programs designed to eradicate extreme poverty, reduce stunting and improve education and health outcomes in Rio Province are targeted and effective. We have extended our support for quality education to reach more than 170 schools and are working to improve infrastructure and the quality of education through leadership training. In the healthcare area, we're doing baseline studies to identify the areas of greatest need around infrastructure and supply. At our mill, we have become more circular, continuously improving our ability to eliminate waste and incorporate new renewable energy sources like solar. We are in the process of installing a 20 megawatt solar installation in Kerinci in Riau Province, where our operations are located, where it will become a more permanent part of our energy mix. We are taking action on climate through a series of climate-positive targets that will drastically reduce our carbon emissions. We've strengthened our commitment towards climate positive with local-made electric buses operating in Pangkalan Kerinci, supporting lower carbon employee commuting to our mill. At the landscape level, we are focused on expanding our ecosystem restoration footprint and have established new conservation projects with village communities as part of a pilot program. And we have made strong progress with strategic partners in understanding the drivers of illegal wildlife trade and what can be done to eliminate it. We established a new tropical peatland science hub, eco-research camp, at the heart of Kampar Peninsula, serving as a hub to study this important ecosystem. We have made a lot of progress, but there remains much work to be done. Alongside our partners and communities, we look forward to making a positive impact in the coming years ahead.
Masa depan ditentukan dari titik ini. Berbekal tekad, Indonesia siap hadirkan inovasi. Didorong dedikasi tinggi, membuat kami siap beradaptasi. Bergerak dengan dinamis untuk wujudkan percepatan transformasi. Kami bergerak dengan hati untuk Indonesia maju. Langit dan tanah Obi menjadi saksi transformasi dari Indonesia untuk dunia. Dari timur Indonesia, kami mempersembahkan perubahan bagi masa depan. Dengan nilai yang kuat, kami lebih erat dalam wujudkan tekad. Fokus dalam akselerasi transformasi. Berpegang pada asa untuk membuktikan pada dunia bahwa Indonesia bisa. Terus bergerak dari sekarang untuk generasi masa depan. Persembahan dari Tanah Obi untuk Indonesia.
Our next session is a professional talk to discuss this year's special issues with three of our speakers, Mrs. Dian Novarina from PT Riau Andalan Pulp and Paper, and Mrs. Jessica Hanafi, PhD from PT Life Cycle Indonesia, and Dr. Insinyur Haruki Agustina, Master of Science, Director of Contaminated Land Recovery and Emergency Response, Hazardous and Toxic Waste, and Non-Hazardous and Toxic Materials from the Ministry of Environmental and Forestry. To guide us through this session, we would like to introduce Mr. Ahyehudin Sodri as our moderator for today. Dr. Ahyehudin Sodri is an assistant professor at the School of Environmental Science since 2018, Universitas Indonesia. His teaching subjects are research methodology, environmental modeling, and sustainable food, energy, water. He acts as a managing editor of the Journal of Environmental Science and Sustainable Development. He holds a doctoral degree in environmental science from Universitas Indonesia. Since 2020, he leads the research cluster of eco-innovation, sustainable production consumption, and renewable energy. He has a particular interest in system dynamics, life cycle cost analysis, and life cycle assessment. For community engagement, she provides consulting service for some of the ministries of the Republic of Indonesia and the Multilateral Development Bank. Mr. Sodri, the session is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Anissa Mayangsari. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be your moderator for this annual session. Today, we will hear from the three competent professionals in their field. They will share their experience and insight in their respective field. The first speaker who will give us presentation is Mrs. Dian Novarina, as a Deputy Director of Sustainability and Stakeholder Engagement, PT Rio Andalan Pulp and Paper, or April. We hear the April. Mrs. Dian Novarina completed her undergraduate education at the Bogor Institute of Agriculture, or IPD, and then she was awarded master degree from the International Institute for Geoinformation Science and Earth Observation, ITC, in Netherlands. And currently, she is still following doctoral education at the School of Environmental Science, University of Indonesia. Mrs. Dian Novarina has many membership, and I will mention only many here. She is a deputy chairperson of the Association of Indonesian Forest Concessionaries for Multi-Business Forestry, and chairpersons of the Business Chamber of the National Forestry Council. She is also board member of the National Community Forestry Forum, and I will not read here. Is a lot to be mentioned here. Since 2017, Mrs. Dian Novarina has been a member of the Peatland and Society Commission at the International Peat Society, or IPS, as expert panel. Mrs. Dian Novarina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pak Ahya. Good morning, all participants of the JESSD Symposium. A very good morning also to Ibu Haruki and Ibu Jessica as other speakers in this forum. Thank you for inviting April to share perspective and also experience in this very reputable forum. My name is Dian Novarina. I'm working with April, and this morning I will share with you our perspective related to sustainable development, opportunity as well as challenges. Let me share my screen with you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Bu. Already, Bu. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. I will start by sharing with you. Sorry. An introduction about April Group. April Group is one of the largest and technologically advanced pulp and paper making in the world. Our forest plantation and mill are located in Riau province in Indonesia, and we also have offices in Jakarta and Singapore. Our source of log supply comes from a plantation area, in total 450,000 hectares, and we also manage 370,000 of conservation area. Our mill capacity is 2.8 million ton pulp per year, and for paper, our capacity is 1.15 million ton per year. And we also have a state-of-the-art R&D facilities in our mill complex in Riau, and we have 160 science professionals working for us. They are coming from a different part of the world. For our business, we have key principles that you can see here as part of our ESG framework. For environment, some of those key principles are responsible sourcing and traceability, responsible management of peatlands, continuous reduction of our carbon footprint, commitment for no deforestation, and also conservation as part of our sustainable forestry business model. For social element, they are proactive support of local communities, respect the right of indigenous people and communities, and responsible practices in our workplace. And the core of our ESG framework is best management practice, transparency, progress reporting, science, and data-driven operation. In November 2020, we launched what we call April 2030 commitment, as you may have seen in the previous video that we had together earlier this morning. And this April 2030 commitment is developed based on Indonesia Forestry Sector Development Priorities, SDG target, our April Sustainability Forest Management Policy that has been launched in 2015, and also global priority, NDC achievement, and also net zero emission 2050. We have, as you can see here, we have four pillars for April 2030. They are thriving landscape, inclusive progress, sustainable growth, and climate positive. I will go through each pillar in this presentation. For each pillar, we have a target. For climate positive pillar, we have four target here. The first one is net zero emission from land use, because we manage land resources, and 25% reduction in product emission intensity. 90% of mill energy needs from renewable and cleaner energy sources, as well as 50% of fiber operation energy needs from renewable and cleaner energy as well. This is an example of our energy mix in our mill operation. This is, you can see, this is available in our website as part of April Sustainability Report 2021. A challenge is that to increase renewable energy and energy consumption to 80% in 2030. At the moment, the percentage is 87% energy mix. They come from renewable energy, most of it. From black liquor, biomass. Biomass is bark, wood bark, and also palm oil husk, sludge, methanol, and solar. Solar here is solar panel, yeah, from the sun. And non-renewable energy, we still have 13% coal, natural gas, diesel, and oil. This is the progress so far related to April 2030. We have initiated 1 megawatt solar panel of total 20 at operational site. When completed in 2025, it will be one of Indonesia's largest private sector solar panel installation. Utilizing 2 electric buses to support lower carbon employee commuting in our Kerinci complex. The important thing of this is part of our effort to give education also to our employee to contribute in the effort to reduce carbon emission. And we use effluent treatment sludge as biomass for fuel substitute in production process. And we have already ordered for trial 2 dual fuel LNG engines for log hauling of fiber to the mill. So this is for the truck, for transportation. We also will use renewable energy and cleaner energy. And we also sign up to SBTI, Science-Based Target Initiative. We are the member of the technical working group to establish greenhouse gas protocol on land sector and renewable guidance. As part of our effort to maintain carbon sequestration, we manage Restorasi Ekosistem Riau, or RER, Riau Ecosystem Restoration. This is one of the largest ecosystem restoration project in Indonesia on peatland area. This is located in Riau province in Sumatra, and this located in intact forest, and it is also provide a sanctuary to more than 800 species of wildlife, including the Sumatran tiger. For thriving landscape, we have 5 targets. The first one is zero net loss of conservation and restoration area. So we don't want our conservation area to be encroached, for example, or threatened by forest fire. And we also have a target for positive biodiversity gains and wildlife protection in Indonesia from illegal wildlife trade. 50% gain in plantation fiber yield. This is the intensification effort for our plantation. And we advance tropical peatland science. The achievements so far are, the first one is we continually improve sustainable plantation management practices, focus on intensification and increase in fiber yield from the same footprint. Our track to increase mean annual increment, this is the mean annual increment is the growth of the tree to 22 tons in 2022 through ongoing silviculture enhancement, genetic improvement, and also better soil nutrition. This is the figure of the picture of our plantation in, I think this is in Teso area in Riau. Then we also have a commitment to invest of $1 fiber per ton per year in conservation. So if we have 11 million ton fiber wood coming to our mill, so we have $11 million per year for conservation. And we began to use a spatial monitoring and reporting tool, or SMART, to identify risk to wildlife in partnership with WCS, Wildlife Conservation Society. This is international NGO in this field. Because in Riau, in our operation, we also have some endangered species such as this tiger, Sumatran tiger, elephant, and many other cat species like leopard. We also have our corporate engagement partner in SBTN, Science-Based Target Network, to align target with post-2020 biodiversity agenda. SBTN is a coalition of UN Global Compact, WRI, WWF, and IUCN, to expand biodiversity. We also now start to have a conservation community partnership. This is our partnership with community to manage a conservation area. We also have established RER Eco Camp and Peat Science Research Hub. This is our solution given the challenge of knowledge gap about tropical peat. So we hope that this eco research camp will serve as a tropical peatland science hub for national and also international scientists and academics, and also for stakeholders who wish to experience ecosystem restoration work on the ground. This eco research camp located in the middle of the forest that we manage. This is about 5 to 6 hours by car from Pekanbaru. And we also support National Forest Restoration Initiative This is the picture of a modern nursery in Rumpin. This is at that time, it was inaugurated by President Jokowi. We support the government of Indonesia to establish the design and also technology of the nursery by copying the technology that we have in Riau, in Pangkalan Kerinci. So the government will use this nursery as a source of seedlings for restoration and also rehabilitation program. For inclusive progress, the target are zero extreme poverty within 50-kilometer radius of April operation. So we will work with it to eradicate the zero extreme poverty. We also promote quality education and healthcare as access. 50% reduction in stunting in children below 5 years, and we advance equal opportunities and participation for women. This is one of our gender balance commitment. The progress so far, first we completed a study with Semeru. Semeru is research institution to identify baseline because before we do an intervention, we need a baseline, right? So we work with Semeru to identify priority villages with serious nutritional problem. And we have expanded educational support to 172 schools. We use many international and national standards like IGRA, IGMA, INAP, and PISA standard. Partnership with Tani Hub to provide capacity building for local farmers and also enable access to the online marketplace. So we introduce technology to our community members who are living surrounding our operation area. We also develop HRDD. HRDD is Human Rights Due Diligence Framework. And we sign up to the UN Women Empowerment Principles. The fourth pillar is about sustainable growth. This is mostly related to our operational in our mills. So this is about 98% chemical recovery, 25% less processed water use per production ton, 20% recycled textile because we also produce viscose for textile, and then 80% less solid waste to landfill. So this is also our challenge to close the circularity gap. As I explained earlier, we plant trees. So we plant 300 million trees per hectare. And then we use biomass energy in our mill, and we implement 5C principle, as you are already familiar maybe, yeah? Reduce fuel consumption, reuse chemical, recycle water, recover black liquor, and also replace bark. And we produce biodegradable product. But we still have to close this gap by more research. So our target is to reduce as much as possible waste that we produce and to go to the landfill. This is the progress for this the latest pillar, the fourth pillar. We have implementing a project to reduce water use, increase recycle of wastewater. We have up to now we have 7.5% less water use and 52% less waste to landfill from waste to value collaboration with R&D. This is related to fertilizer field trial and diverting an average of 5,000 tons of ash. This is fly ash from power boiler and bottom ash from recovery boiler into road upgrading. This is to improve our road and also to thicken our log yard. Then we also start a feasibility study to establish pre-consumer textile waste collection infrastructure in Indonesia for use as a feedstock. So I will conclude my presentation by sharing with you the business philosophy of our founder, Bapak Sukanto Tanoto. He said that a good business is about what is good for community, good for country, climate, customers, and company. Only then the business will be sustainable. Thank you for your attention. I'm more than happy to take your question. Over to you, Pak Ahya. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dian. I think it was very interesting speech that I believe many participants this morning will raise their question. But please hold your question first, and then I think you will suggest to fill in the Google form to write your question, to raise your question, available on chat. I believe it. Ladies and gentlemen. Now we will continue our session with the second presenter. The second presenter, I think, Mrs. Jessica Hanafi, PhD from PT Life Cycle Indonesia. Mrs. Dr. Jessica Hanafi is a professional in life cycle assessment and sustainable area with 20-year experience. She established PT Life Cycle Indonesia (LCI), a consulting firm with a team of experts in life cycle assessment and sustainability to accommodate the growing interest in life cycle assessment and sustainability practice in the industry and advocate for the adoption of life cycle assessment to quantify its sustainability metric. She is currently appointed as an expert in the ISO Technical Committee on LCA, Social LCA, and 323 on circular economy, and served as an advisory committee for the revision of the UNEP Social LCA guideline. She continues to assist various companies and industrial associations from agriculture sector, oil and gas, power plants, manufacturing to pharmaceutical companies in implementing LCA in their industries and help them in pursuing sustainable activities. In early 2021, together with fellow LCA practitioners, she established the Indonesian Association of Life Cycle Assessment and Sustainability Professional, or PRO-LCES, to accommodate the needs of credible LCA practitioners in Indonesia. Mrs. Dr. Jessica Hanafi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pak Ahya. Good morning, everyone. Is my voice clear, Bapak Ibu?
Yes, Bu. Yes, Bu.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share our knowledge and our findings to raise awareness. Yeah, from paper we move to water. So the title of my talk is the environmental footprint of water jugs in providing access to clean water in Indonesia, a life cycle assessment study on carbon and water footprint. Clean water is important to meet basic needs. Yeah, so at the moment, even in Jakarta alone, yeah, the local government water provider, Pak PDAM, can only provide up to 60 to 65% of clean water to the community, yeah, to the people in Jakarta. Imagine for those who are in the remote areas. So these are some of the stories that how we have limited water, clean water, especially for drinking. And you know, like water is very, very important for us. So with the continuous need of clean water, water in jugs comes in the market to provide good water quality and convenience and access, so that we can still fulfill our requirement of water, clean drinking water especially. So nowadays in household and offices in Indonesia, we are many of us relying on water from jugs to meet people need, especially this was important during the pandemic, yeah, where people are mostly at home and also spending a lot of time making sure that we are in good health. Yeah, health is very important for us, and we drink a lot of water. And water in jugs, because of the scrutiny, I would say, in plastics and other types of in packagings, water in packagings, water in jugs becomes one of our solution. So there are a lot of product varieties available in the market right now. Reusable jugs, we are going to differentiate it into reusable jugs, that one that you can refill, And then the other one is the single-use plastic SUP jugs that are coming in for an option. Sometimes it can be an option as well when we are in a remote area. There's no refillable trucks coming in and out, but I will limit the talk here just for the water in jugs, not including the maybe some of in the area we have refillable station, refill station, only these two types of products that we want to further explore. So as you all know, Indonesia is committed to tackling climate change. So there are awareness raised on carbon tax, carbon footprint, how we can be carbon neutral. These are the issues that coming in, and we are wondering why, how can we do that? But water stress is also available in Indonesia. This is an irony, because we are surrounded by waters, but these are not drinkable waters, and the rivers in Java especially are not in a good quality. We cannot just take the water from the river and drink it. And also some areas groundwater is very, very difficult, and we don't want to use many of groundwaters because the island is starting to sink as well. This is something that we need to worry about. So it's very important to understand how we can conserve water, especially for drinking. So with that background, the objective of this talk especially to provide information on the quantitative environmental footprint of the water jugs, especially on the carbon and water footprints of the water jugs. Why we want to do that? Because we want to raise awareness from everyone here, the academia, the future. I would say Bapak Ibu over here is the future. How to raise awareness and provide information for consumers in making decision. Budian just talk about science-based target initiatives. This is one of the example of science-based target initiative. We don't want to say or do this or make decision just based on somebody is saying here and there, or a hearsay, or even attempt for greenwashing. So we want to know what is the actual quantitative footprint. So we conduct life cycle assessment. Life cycle assessment is a cradle to grave approach to assess a product system. For those of you who might heard of it, it consists of a compilation of input, output, and calculating the potential environmental impact of a product system throughout its life cycle. The concept of life cycle assessment is you calculate the environmental impact based on the natural resources that you take from the earth and the emission that you release to the environment. So if we do not take anything from the earth, or we do not release any emission to the environment, whether it's to the air, to the water, or to the soil, then we will have what they call is carbon neutrality. So how to make it to close the loop, how to make it always around and circulate in here. So LCA determines the potential environmental impact from the raw material acquisition, production, usage, end-of-life treatment, recycling to final disposal. We have 4 steps or 4 phases in the life cycle assessment framework: goal and scope definition, life cycle inventory, life cycle impact assessment, and interpretation. And this is based on the ISO 14040 and 44 that has been adopted as an Indonesian national standard, or SNE, as well in 2016 and 2017. The scope of the research is the Jabotabek area. We collect data during January to December 2019. The function of the product that we examine is to contain, protect, storage, and deliver drinking water safely to consumers. So the functional unit is the packaging system, how the packaging system can protect the drinking water to meet the requirement of average drinking water consumption of household in a month, 166 liters. Why we choose this as a functional unit? Because there are many types of varieties of packaging. In this case, for our two types of containers is the 19 liters reusable jugs made from polycarbonates and 15 liters of single-use plastic from PET jugs. So in order to fulfill that 166 liters, we need 874 jugs for the 19 liters. This is accommodating also the lifetime of the jugs. Is around 40 to 45 usage, and then around 11 jugs for the 15 liters one. And we chose two impact categories and methods that we examine for the carbon and water footprint, the global warming potential using the IPCC methods. Later we will slightly discuss, and then the water scarcity footprint. I'm going to be very quick. The product composition, these are the differences of the product composition. I will not go into detail. You can read it yourself. The differences between the jugs, some similarities and differences. And in the product system, basically, we exclude the drinking water itself, but we have the manufacture of the jugs and the labeling, the filling, the distribution, and then the usage. For the reusable jugs, it will be returned to the customers through the reverse logistics operation. While for most of the single-use jugs will be collected by scavengers or third party for recycling. And these are the system boundary, what happened in the processes, and what happened for both reusable and single-use jugs. The inventory is collected using surveys, interviews, market research, proxy calculation, database, and modeling, where we're able to gather some primary data as well based on the surveys and interviews from the producers. And then also we calculate or measure the packaging ourselves from the market. And some of the proxy data were used to calculate the distance for the transportation process, looking at where are the warehouses, and we calculate using the Google Maps. We have a baseline scenario for the end of life of the water jugs because these are one of the sensitive issues for plastic packagings. So for the reusable, based on the interview, they managed to collect 95% to be recycled for their bottle production, and then landfill, open burning, and so on. For the single use, we use the data from the research based on the Bappenas data for plastic packaging, where mostly 62% can be collected from the markets, and then it can be recycled. The others can be mismanaged, like the open burning, and can also end up in landfill if it's really, really dirty, let's say. So it's a mismanaged percentage. These are the data quality for, we check the data reliability and the sample size. We managed to gather a total of 65.8% of primary data, and we categorize it as fair quality since it is more than 50%. And we calculate the data quality rating based on the ILCD calculation, which is 1.99, which is a mid-basic quality of the data. These are details of the global warming potentials, environmental impact, life cycle impact. That's my 10 minutes. Life cycle impact assessment methods that we conducted. We use the IPCC methods because it is widely known and then is harmonized and accepted globally. Meanwhile, for the water footprint, we use the AWARE method, which is used by many people. many researchers and also recognize SRH in the consensus-based methodology. This is a water footprint based on LCA, where we calculate the relative available water remaining per area in a watershed. In the simplicity, in a water footprint using the AWARE method, every area has different water scarcity level. So if you're living in a water deprived area, in a high water scarcity area, your 1 cubic meter of water can be considered as 20 cubic meter of water, or even 40 cubic meter of water. So 20 to 40 times. Meanwhile, if you're living in a water abundant area, what your 1 cubic meter of water can be valued just 0.1 cubic meter of water. That is how the water footprint in the AWARE method and WULCA is calculated. We conducted the modeling and impact assessment using the Sigma Pro Developer software. It is a renowned software for life cycle assessment, and the result shows that for the functional unit to meet 166 liters water requirement in a month, the reusable jugs only consumes 3.38 kilogram or emits 3.38 kilograms of CO2 equivalent, which is mainly from the electricity consumption from the manufacturing. There's also polycarbonate production. There's also emission for the mismanaged plastic waste transportation, and also jug molding and HDPE production. The emission are from the scenario and of last scenarios. Meanwhile, for the single-use jugs, it's actually emitting 20.61 kilograms CO2 equivalent, mostly from the production of the PET granulate, because it is continuously using virgin PET granulate to manufacture the jugs. So the reusable jugs contribute 1/6 of the global warming potential compared to the single-use jugs. Meanwhile, for the water scarcity footprint, similar with 166 liters, the reusable jugs consumes 0.87 cubic meter of water equivalent. Yeah, this is already a water scarcity footprint, and mostly it is consumed by the washing of the jugs, and some for the dye production, the electricity consumption, the labor production, and so on, even though they have some wastewater treatment from the washing that clean one that is returned to the water body. Meanwhile, for the single-use jugs, it consumes 14.72 cubic meter of H2O equivalent, which is mostly used for the injection blow molding of PET bottle, where this is actually for the cooling water, the production of PET granule as well, and then the plastic dye production throughout the processes. So in the reusable jugs contribute to 1 to 17th of water scarcity footprint compared to the single-use jugs. We conduct sensitivity analysis to make sure that our baseline can be challenged, I would say. And for our scenario, we assume that there is a 100% recycling rate of the SUP PET bottle, where the baseline is only 62%. So if we increase the recycling rate for the single-use jugs from 62% to 100%, it can reduce 5.4% of the global warming potential. But this is still quite far, yeah, from the 1/6. And increase 0.11% for the water scarcity footprint. And for the returnable rate of reusable jugs, when we increase from 95% to 100%, the potential impact for both impact categories for water and the global warming potential actually decreases. Meanwhile, for the scenario 2, for the biofuel composition of 50%, before it is only it is not used biofuel. Scenario 2 shows both positive results for the reusable and single-use jugs, where there is a reduction of global warming potential of 1.5% and 0% 0.06% improvement respectively, and biofuel composition do not affect the water scarcity footprint for the single-use jugs despite the improvement of water scarcity reduction. The study, because it was a comparison of two water packaging systems, we conducted a critical review. There were two critical reviewers led by Dr. Nidia Supen-Renaga from the Latin America Hub for the International EPD System and also for the Center of LCA and Sustainable Design. And the second one is Juan Pablo Chargoy Amador, as a general director for the Center of LCA and Sustainable Design in Mexico. And the reviewer assessed that the comparative LCA are consistent with the standards, is scientifically and technically valid, and the data used are appropriate and reasonable, and meets the criteria for the transparency of the report that we submitted to them as a technical report, and the end-of-life scenarios that we provided also relevant and appropriate. So even though whatever the result is, the reusable and single-use jugs are contributing to the society and providing access to clean water. This is something that we need to remember. So despite all of the differences, they are contributing to the society for that purpose. However, there are some recommendation, especially for the electricity consumption. We propose to implement resource efficiency and cleaner production to improve the environmental performance of the reusable jug, and also potentially use alternative sources of renewable energy. The utilization of rPET or recycled material for the single-use jugs to reduce the impact of PET production, and for the impact of water scarcity, efficient way of washing process for the reusable jug, and utilization of recycled water for utilities, or improve circularity of water for both reusable and single-use jugs can be an option to reduce water scarcity footprint. However, as a consumer, what are our roles? Our roles is both managing the after use of both products, regardless whether it is a reusable or the single-use products, because there is a high percentage of potentially mismanaged of plastic waste, whether it is to landfill or to open burning, especially for open burning. So it is important for us, everyone in here and everyone out there, to be aware on the impact of consumers' behavior and manage our waste responsibly. Thank you very much. Apology, Pak Ahya, and everyone, if I ran out of the time, I go over time, but hopefully this can be an enlightenment to everyone, and it can be a useful information for us to have a better world, and especially towards sustainable Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Jessica Hanafi. Again, I think she has shown us about important topic about the drinking water. Of course, limit to study of plastic from water jugs. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to the third presenter, Mrs. Dr. Haruki Agustina, from Director of Contaminated Land Recovery and Emergency Response, Hazardous and Toxic Waste, and Non-Hazardous and Toxic Material, Ministry of Environment and Forestry, Republic of Indonesia. Mrs. Haruki, here I will read you short curriculum vitae of Mrs. Haruki. Awarded Doctor of Environmental Science from University of Indonesia in 2015, Master on Environmental Engineering Science from Griffith University in 1998, Bachelor of Agriculture from Bogor Agriculture Institute, Indonesia in 1993. She has a lot of expertise. I'll mention here some: persistent organic pollutant, environmental toxicology, industrial waste management, K3 and OSES, environmental impact assessment, ISO 14000, Ecoton concept, domestic waste management and technology, carrying capacity, and strategic environmental assessment. She has many membership of professional society. I will mention only some. She is head of working group of environmental of Indonesia Malaysia Talent Growth Triangle IMTGT 2022, Indonesia Environmental Scientists Association IECA from 2016, WHO temporary advisor for the task force member of the Regional Forum on Environmental Health from 2005 to 2013, member of expert working group on environmental post monitoring in Asia Pacific region from 2003 to 2013. There are here a lot, but I will not mention all. Ibu Dr. Haruki Agustina, the floor is yours. Bu, you are still unmute. Your microphone. Okay.
That's the problem of technology.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Hayudin. Very good morning to all participants and the to speaker. It is a great honor for me to join this this international symposium for the professional talk. Then I would like to congratulate to JESSD University of Indonesia, who is successful to have this international symposium. So as Pak Ayudin already introduced me, then I don't need to introduce myself again. So let me share my. Can I share my presentation, Pak Aya? Okay. So everybody can hear me well?
Yes, Bu. Yeah, your voice is very clear, Bu.
Okay, thank you so much. So if we learn from both two speakers, so we learn about how industrial sector develops sustainable concept in their own. And now I want to talk about how sustainable development of waste management in terms of governmental sector. So if we talk about the waste, so waste it will be a problem. So I appreciate with the two speakers before they have already implement a sustainable concept on waste management. So if we can see here, so we have to control waste. Waste can be a problem when we treat in proper manner, but in terms of the waste cycle, so we have to identify first when we want to use, what is the process, and how to reduce the waste from the beginning. So when they will produce the waste, and they have to control, which means we implement a principle from cradle to the grave. So waste have to control when it is produced until they will dump. However, a landfill method or dumping method, it is not likely enough for a government right now. We save a paradigm. So we try to limit it, the landfill. So we promote 3R program or implement principle of cradle to cradle. So we try to implement this in terms of in the future the marginality of land use will be a problem. Waste dumped to the land. Solid waste dumped to the land, and people also need land for a human living. So what is the national policy on waste management? No government set up the shifting paradigm. So before 2008, most people, most industrial sector think that waste just a pollutant and dump in some places, and no waste reduction, no waste resource, no resource efficiency, because just a linear economical principle. However, in 2008 until 2015, government promote 3R program and EPR. That means we start to think waste as an alternative material to utilize again for another purposes. Waste to resource, efficiency resources, and limit virgin resources. Because if we can see to the situation of national non-renewable resources is a very crisis right now. So from this new paradigm, we try to open 3R program and also ask for further responsibility for the producer. They have to control, they have to use waste not dump to the landfill site. Now, since next is 2015 until now, we promote economical and green concept, meaning that we thought waste as an alternative, and we can use waste as long as we can, and also promoting economical circular, because when we use waste as an alternative material, there will be a reduction of financial things. So from implementing this, we promote SDGs goal number 11 and number 12 to promote sustainability and competitive in terms of solid waste management, and also responsible consumption and production, that industrial sector and community has to be responsible in their own product. So what is the circular economy concept? So as I said before, a government promoting economical circular concept that by utilizing waste as a raw material, as an alternative raw material or alternative fuel for another product, for another process, and they will produce the waste again, and they will use again. So this means like a closed loop circular economical concept from waste management. So how government policy sustainable waste management? So there's some policy, whether solid waste management and hazardous waste management. From solid waste management, government try to support local government by improving capacity building, infrastructure, to build facilities to control the solid waste, and by implementing 3R program, and also recovery, reuse, and recycle. So from the hazardous waste, we promote 3R program by permit services method. So every industrial sector can use waste as long as possible by promoting 3R progress, but they have to get a permit first. This means to make sure that utilization of waste not impacted to the pollution, not impacted to the human health. And in another way, there is issue of land contaminated site by hazardous waste from industrial sector, who they manage in improper manner, or from the community base, that people using waste for another purpose in illegally manner. Yeah, so that's 3 issues that government has put on policy to promote sustainable concept on waste management. So what is the policy and regulation? I think Indonesia has a very satisfaction regulation, since we have the omnibus law concept last year. So we have new regulation, governmental regulation number 22 on implementation and of environment protection and management. Under this regulation, we promote 3R program for hazardous waste by using a permit method, and also under the solid waste management regulation, we have Act number 18. We have presidential regulation number 81, and also we have presidential decree to control solid waste from the local government. So this is this table to show you what is the target of a government for solid waste management and reduction. In 2025, for government waste, all solid waste management around Indonesia will manage 100%. Will manage 100% in 2025 by reduction 30%, and 70% is solid waste management. So I know this is very hard. I know. Sorry. Yes. Okay, this is very hard and this is very tough. Yeah, if we can see know the situation, there's so many littering waste, solid waste to the river, to the land base, to the sea. So therefore we need collaboration from the grassroots community base, from the local government, from the national and industrial sector who produce, I mean, product that the pasca consumption will be waste. So now we work together with the all stakeholder to get achievement on 2025. So from the hazardous waste sector, from the industrial sector, there's some potential waste production from manufacture sector, agro-industry, mining, energy, oil and gas, infrastructure, even from the services process, they produce waste. That is a potential waste generation. It's about more than 60 million ton, yeah, in 2025. There's potential pollution to the environment and human health if they don't manage in a proper manner. It will be littering, it will be leaking, spilling to the environment if they don't control in a proper manner. So what is the potential of maximum capacity of utilization of hazardous waste by using permit? As you can see here, we already promoting, yeah, issued the permit for utilization of hazardous waste from industrial sector. It's about potential of utilized waste about more than 45 million ton waste already utilized as by using 3R concept. And as you can see here also, there's is economical value. So it is very promising and very potential as long as the technology is available and meet our standard. Yeah. So from the site remediation process, also we promote a sustainable concept by utilization waste for another purposes. There's two kind of sources of land contaminated from industrial sector and from non-industrial sector, from the community base, yeah, like artisanal activities or illegally waste management. From the recovery process, remediation process, we don't put waste to the landfill site, but we use waste as an alternative energy or alternative raw material to make new product like briquette or alternative cement material in the cement industry. This is the figure how we achieve the economical aspect from the utilization of waste from the remediation process of land contaminated. We use waste from the land contaminated for the briquette, for the substitute material in cement, or also an alternative fuel in the cement. As you can see here also, the economical value is very promising. This is the best practice, as you can see here, waste utilization for the sub-base road, for the briquette, for the alternative fuel in the industrial sector. So in terms of greenhouse gas effect, government has committed to reduce the carbon emission from the waste management. As you can see here, we have national determination contribution. Yeah, we already put the commitment from the unconditional production. Yeah, Indonesia has voluntarily committed to reduce unconditional 26% of greenhouse gas, again, the business as usual. Yeah, and also from the conditional reduction, Indonesia commit to increase contribution up to 44%. This is very ambitious target under the NDC. So this is the table to figure you what is the project basis as usual and emission reduction from each sector category. I want to point it out only for the waste sector. As you can see here, for the countermeasure 2 as ambitious mitigation scenario in and also support by international, Indonesia has put a target 41%. I know this is very hard and very tough to achieve this target. So we're starting now to to collect the data, to support the industrial sector, to control the waste, which is potential to produce greenhouse gas from the industrial sector. So for this committee to develop the strategy of waste mitigation, the government of Indonesia has committed to develop a comprehensive strategy to improve policy and institutional capacity at the local level, enhance the management capacity of urban wastewater, reduce landfill waste by promoting 3R program, and also utilization of waste and solid waste for energy production. So for committed to further reduction emission, the government has committed to further reduce emission from the waste management sector by 2020 and beyond, through the comprehensive and coherent policy development, institutional strengthening, improve financial and funding mechanism, technology innovation, and social cluster approach. This is the strategy how government to achieve the target. So this is the mitigation action for waste. As you can see here, there is two sectors, from solid waste management and from industrial industrial sector. From the solid waste management, we promote there is unmanaged landfill, to limit unlimited landfill and promoting landfill gas and promoting waste as an alternative energy. We call PRTSA. And also RDF meaning refuse derived fuel, that we manage waste in a biological method and use further for alternative fuel in the cement. We have some project in a cement industry for RDF program. So in terms of industrial sector, we have a program with some industrial like a pulp and paper, as Budian already mentioned before. So there have potential waste which will produce methane, methane, such as sludge IPA, So we propose to industries to utilize that such of waste by using for another purposes or recycle for other purposes like composting and others. And from other industry sector is palm oil industry, that they have potential palm oil mill effluent that's very potential to release the greenhouse gas to the environment. So if they control and manage those waste, will be push the exposure of greenhouse gas from the industrial sector. Lastly, this graph is to figure how the commitment, how to control waste potential greenhouse gas effective to the environment. So in perhaps in 2050, so will be reduced the potential exposure of greenhouse gas from all the sector, even from the solid waste, from the community, or also from the industrial sector. That's all my presentation. Thank you so much. It is feel free for further discussion. Thank you, Pak Haya. I give back to you again.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Haruki. Ladies and gentlemen, now we completed 3 presentations from the 3 presenters. And before we step up to the next session, question and answer, I highlight again some of the point from 3 presenters. From the first presentation, or from the first presenter, Mrs. Dian Novarina, I think she shared with us about the pulp and paper industry commitment and progress. And 4 points highlighted. The first is renewable and cleaner energy consumption. Second is peatland or forest restoration. And she highlighted also about the forest replantation and also biodiversity conversion. The third aspect is social development. 3 points highlighted: poverty reduction, stunting, and educational support. And the last but not the least, Mrs. Diano Farina has shared with us about the sustainable production by less water use, less energy use, and also less waste. From the second presentation by Mrs. Jessica Hanafi, she shared with us about the plastic use in water production and consumption by doing LCA for the water jugs. 2 point as indicator is carbon and water footprint. As I mentioned earlier, she utilized the LCA method, water to from cradle to grave, and on her studies, she conclude or their result show that the carbon footprint of single-use water jugs, it could be 6 times compared to the reusable water jugs. And from the point of water footprint, I think it's more than 15 times. Finally, from the third presenter, Mrs. Haruki, she discussed with us about the waste management from the policymaker's perspective. What I highlighted here, I think she shared with us about the shifting paradigms from, let's say, the regulation to the green economic by circular economic approach. And she also shared with us about the hazardous material, not only from the environmental impact reduction or mitigation, but what is also very interesting, it was mentioned about the economic potential of hazardous waste. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will continue to the question and answer, and the committee has provided me some questions for all of the 3 presenters. May I start with the first question to Mrs. Diano Farina. There is a question from the audience. Within a 50-kilometer radius from your company, how many poor people receive the benefits? How many percentage of your contribution in reducing poverty in Rio? Mrs. Diana Farina, please to answer this question.
Thank you, Pak Ahya. Based on the baseline study from Semeru, as I mentioned earlier, there are 204 villages that need our help. So the definition of extreme poverty that is used by Semeru is that so they also use what it's called World Bank purchasing power parity. So the level is 1.9 per person per day, or 350,000 rupiah per month. So that is the definition of extreme poverty that we use. So we identify 204 villages within the 50-kilometer radius from our mill. And then at the moment, we have a deep dive study with the help of Bina Swadaya to formulate intervention program to improve 59% of local population in those villages working on agribusiness sector. So if you ask how many poor people, so I think at this point there is we still work on the figure, And also because this is still progressing, so I believe what I can add to that is that at the moment we have delivered a vocational training as the effort to improve the livelihood of those need intervention. The vocational training is for 62 local youth, and we also foster entrepreneurship among local communities by empowering over 200 small medium enterprise in 6 sectors, and we is in the process to increase income of 65 out of 97 small medium enterprise by more than 50% through our intervention. So I hope that can answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Dianovaya. Now I will shift the question to Mrs. Jessica Hanafi. Actually, I have a lot of questions on my device, but I will start with the first question for you, Bu. Why did you choose to use an IPCC method to analyze the environmental impact rather than other methods?
Okay.
I hope it's clear for you, Bu.
Thank you, Pa. Yeah. In fact, for the carbon footprint, the most recognized method for calculating carbon is IPCC. So whatever you choose, because it's a harmonized, yeah, it is harmonized and is agreed by all the countries. So that is actually the only one impact category, yeah, that the world has already agreed upon. So for if you're using, for example, if you're familiar with LCA, if you're using recipe or CML or whatever it is, it always comes back to the root of IPCC for the carbon footprint. Yeah, but I hope that is sufficient.
Okay, thank you. Now I will raise the question for Ibu Haruki. Actually, I have also a lot of questions for Bu, but I try to choose one for the first question. Bu Haruki, here the question is, how much the achievement of domestic waste management until this year? What is the big problem to managing waste in Indonesia? Of the target set, there are a certain percentage that cannot be managed. What does the government do for the percentage that is outside the management target? Actually, it's the question. I'm sorry. Please, Bu Haruki.
Thank you, Pahya. This is very hard question for me as a government.
But you should answer, Bu, please.
For untuk menjawab jujur. Okay, this is very good question. So if we can see the real situation right now since pandemic happened, so everything's such like a chaos that people only focus on the health and things, and also the producing of waste is getting higher. Yeah, so it is how is the achievement until now? So we still try to push very hard to get achievement target on 2025. However, if we can, I think everybody understand. So under the regulation, the policy of how to control domestic waste is belong to the local government, and also we know how the percentage of budgeting in the local government for environmental sector is very limited. It is a problem in the local government how to control solid waste management. But since government has a new paradigm to make people understand waste is have a value added as long as it can do separating from the source. So government has starting to have a program, very massive program, to educate people, to educate a community, to make them understand doing separating, and understand which one waste has very potential to use again for alternative product or alternative fuel in another purpose, in recycle industrial. That's one thing. So if the situation now, as I said, government still put hard work to support the local government to reach our target. Yeah. So meaning that still waiting until 2025. So what is the percentage? We have a system, a database system that local government has to submit the data for their achievement. But we have to control, government have to control when we decide the policy. We control by the Adipura program. Now we're starting again to control community by Adipura program to share, to send all our staff to control what is the situation and get the real fact finding what is in the grassroots happening on solid waste management. So another problem on the solid waste management when not so many local government has very satisfactory infrastructure, yeah, like landfill gas or recycle infrastructure, even transportation infrastructure. When the people doing separation, yeah, when the people so well, sometimes they put it together for further. That's another problem. So now we promote in terms of 3R program and circular economy, West Bank, yeah, West Bank, recycle facility, yeah, to give as a solution infrastructure for the local government to end control waste. But from the beginning, we have to educate people. They have to do inspiration and manage waste in their manner. I mean, finish waste in their host from the sources. Thank you, Pak Aya.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Haruki. Now I will again to Ibu Jessica. The question is as follows. Is there any challenge in taking the data since LC study in Indonesia, gathering the primary data is quite challenging? Bu Jessica, please.
Thank you, Pak. So we combine between primary data from the survey that we conducted, yeah, with also database, yeah. So database is an important factor, of course, and we cannot say that many of them are using database. But for the primary data, actually, we try to connect with the leading players lah, yeah, in these fields, and then we were very grateful that they are willing to participate in this study. Yeah, so that is the you just have to be very convincing, I suppose, for primary data.
Yeah, yeah. Agree
Yes,
with
but
you.
of course it's backup with the generic database. Yeah.
Yeah. Agree with Bu. I think data is always questioning Bu.
That's
and challenging.
right. But it should not stop us from doing the research, because we can always estimate, use your worst case scenario even, you know, just to give you an idea what would be the risk. Because if you say like, oh, I don't have data, and then you stop and that's it, you don't get anything. So we just go estimate and find literatures and everything to fulfill in that data. I think that would be the key message, especially for everyone in here.
The thing is that we have to be transparent to audience how we got the data, Bu, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ibu Jessica. Now I continue with the question for Ibu Haruki. What government strategies to manage the waste at the SME companies and household level so Indonesia can achieve the target?
Thank you, Pak Aya. Yeah, so actually when we stop the policy, so we have to make another program, how to give appreciation to industry who has implement waste as the SMA program. Yeah, so there's so many like RAPP, maybe and other industry. So we have a proper program have a proper program for controlling industrial who manage environmental in a proper manner. So we control all of the aspect in terms of environmental sector, in also the waste. Yeah. So what is the government support? So there's some tools to support the company, like tax reduction, easiness of getting permit. It's supposed to be like that, yeah. I mean, it make easy permit, and also promoting industry in the social media. They have a good manner. That's all, Pak Ayah.
Thank you, Bu Haruki. Now I back again to Ibu Jessica. Don't worry, Bu. This is the last question, Bu. Okay. The question is, how the life cycle assessment could help to manage the sustainability of clean water usage for drinking water?
That is a very good question and a bit tough to answer. So the idea of the life cycle assessment, of course, we want to try to quantify the environmental impact. Yeah, in this case, it is related to water scarcity. And during the life cycle assessment, we try to identify what kind of processes or even materials that we have throughout the life cycle of the product. And the process within the system boundaries, the product system, it has the highest environmental impact. In this case, the water. So we are using the, as I mentioned before, we are using the aware factor. So we combine the water consumption and also the aware factor, yeah, the water scarcity factor for each of the area. So we map where is this production happening, and also throughout the life cycle of the product. So not only the processing, the manufacturing, yeah. So we trace back as well, similar to the carbon, but our measurement is the water. So we identify, let's say, okay, this production is located in this area. What is the water scarcity level in there? Everyone can actually look at it. I can share in the chat, yeah, for the Wulka Aware, if I'm not mistaken, Wulka Aware website, yeah. Is available there. You can get it for the characterization factor, and you have the Google Earth for each of the area, so you can find out whether this area is water scarce or not, and then you have the factors. That's how we calculate it, Pa Aya. Hopefully it can be understandable, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bu Jessica. Now I back to Ibu Dian. Ibu Dian, I hope you will be able to answer this very good question. Based on the current strategies and practice at the April company, are there some benefit for April to do that, except gain a positive reputation and fulfill the company responsibility?
Thank you, Faria. It is a very interesting question. Yeah, of course, because our business is very reliant on the natural resource, right? So conducting this all sustainability commitment, and also many other effort to mitigate the effect of climate change, it will be really help us to sustain our business and also to grow it. And maybe some of us also understand that now even the banking sectors, yeah, the banking sectors, before they give loan to business, they also have some criteria related to sustainability. So they call it a sustainability linked loan. So before they commit to give loan to a company, so we need to be able to show that we not only committed to sustainability and also other factors related to climate change mitigation, but we also need to prove that we really do the job. So I hope that can answer the question, Pak.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Dian. And the answer from Ibu Dian will end this session of QA. Ladies and gentlemen, for the active participant in this session, those three audience who gave us the question will receive a token with the GoPay. So you have to check your GoPay from time to time, yeah. But don't worry, our staff will contact you directly regarding the merchandise shipment. Ladies and gentlemen, to end this session, I would like to summarize all of the material. So the sustainability could be achieved by strong collaboration between academics, professional, industries, and society. The three speakers have shown the evidence to us from their respective field and initiative about the important collaborations of multi-stakeholder. Thank you so much to Mrs. Diano Farina, Mrs. Jessica Hanafi, Mrs. Haruki Agustina for your time to share your outstanding knowledge and give us more insight about the very interesting topic in this year. So I give it again to this session to the MC, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sodri, and thank you to all the speakers for sharing valuable information with us. And the next session is the announcement for the best paper and the best presenter for the third International Symposium of Earth, Energy, Environmental Science, and Sustainable Development 2022. And to announce this, Mr. Ahyuddin Sodri will announce the best paper and the best presentation. So please, Mr. Sodri, the session is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone could help me to show the slide?
I can help you about a minute.
Okay, no problem. I'm waiting. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we experienced from the previous conference, from the second and the first, we always announce the best paper and best presenter. I hope one of the candidate is yours. Continue, please. Okay. We would like to share with you how we do or how we did to find the best presenter and best paper. Basically, we split the best presenter and best paper to the two themes. The first is environmental science and second is sustainable development. For to choose the best presenter, so we rely on the session and admin chair suggestion, of course, during your parallel session presentation. And we additionally also requested also from the editorial board judgment with ranks. And for the best paper, based on 5 judgment, first is session and admin chair suggestion. Second is quality of the initial paper. Third, quality of the substance of the reviewer. Fourth, quality of the intended article output. And the last but not the least is editorial board judgment with ranking. Continue, please. Okay, this is for the best paper category environmental science. I hope you are there. Continue, please. Okay, for the first is JESSD coding number 190 with the title is Capturing Carbon Dioxide from Human-Driven Vehicle by Green Structure for Carbon Neutrality. This paper prepared by Tetina Tkachenko and Victor Mailekovsky. Congratulations for the both author. Continue, please. The second is with the code number JESSD 151 with the title is Mathematical Estimation of Some Biochemical Parameter of COVID-19 Patient as Mortality Marker. There are here many authors. First is Pelana M. Rogasheva, Marina E. Berulina, M.S. Gromapa, E.E. Rasaniko, and E.U. Fomine. I think this paper is submitted from Russia. Congratulations. Continue, please. The third is coding JESD 111. The title is Effect of Control Temperature on the Performance of PV Module Using Active Water Spray Cooler. This paper prepared by Li Fingtang, Ngo Kung Chong, and Du Nguai. This paper submitted by author from Russia as well as also from Vietnam. Congratulations. Continue, please. Okay, now I would like to announce the best paper by category Sustainable Development. I hope your paper will be there. Continue, please. The first is with code number JESD 147 with the title Synergizing Food Security with Forest Conservation, Preliminary Insight from Social Forestry Implementation in Riau, Indonesia. This paper prepared by Rizky Januar, Dian Effendi, and Smita Tanaya. The second is JESD 29 with the title is Association between COVID-19 case and urban factor in Semarang City, Central Java, Indonesia, with the author Wevin Wira Cornelis Wahid and Jewo C. Setiono. Author affiliated to Diponegoro University, Semarang. Continue, please. The third is JESD code number 187 with the title Self-Reported Pharmaceutical Storage Use and Improper Disposal to the Environment Among Urban Parents in Indonesia. The author are Anindria Nastiti, Erlija Raudah Rianto, Ade Supriyatin, Dwina Rosmini, Siska Widikusuma, and Rumaisa Milhan. The author affiliation is Bandung Institute of Technology. Thank you. Continue, please. Congratulations. Now we move to the best presenter for the category of environmental science. Slide, please. The first is JESD 37 with the title of presentation, Carbon Monoxide, CO, and Particulate Matter Concentration at Central Kalimantan, Indonesia. The authors are Kirso Kuzin, Justinus Sulistianto, Eswin Usub, and Erdiener. The author affiliation is to University of Palangkaraya. Congratulations. Continue, please. Second is JESD with code number 156 with the title is Positive Water Impact Gradation, Study Case at Kuang Water Source Aqua Operation Sukabumi, West Java, Indonesia. The authors are Rahmat Fajar Lubis, Asep Mulyono, Arif Fadila, Hendra Bekti, Gumilar Utamas Nugraha, Ajwar Setia Muhammad, Radit Premudian Toro, and Arman Abdurrahman. The affiliation is to the National Research and Innovation Agency Cibinong and Indonesia, and also Bandung, Indonesia. And also one author affiliation is to Denon Equi Group. Continue, please. Congratulations. The third is JESD code number 21. The title presentation is Velcro Product Design with Biomimicry Approach. The author, Filia Nawila Hapsari, Ratna Purwaningsi, Feridina Ajahra, and Diana Puspitasari. The author affiliation is to Diponegoro University, Semarang, Indonesia. Continue, please. Best presenter, category Sustainable Development. The first is JESD code 27, the title Sustainable Development in the Context of the Architecture of Environmental Friendly Medical Center in Rural Area, case for Ukraine, with the author Irna Bula. The affiliation is to Faculty of Architecture, Technical University of Darmstadt, Germany, and to the Faculty of Architecture, Kyiv National University of Construction and Architecture, Kyiv, Ukraine. Congratulations. The second, with code number JESD 60, the title, Fulani Herdsman Aggression and Recurrent Self-Preservation Demand Implication on the Environment and Sustainable Development Goal 16 in Northern Nigeria. The author are Adamu G. Kasa, Matthew E. Igarvefa, and Ejiba E. Jigidi. The affiliation of author is to the Covenant University, Ota, Nigeria. Congratulations. The third, with code number JESD 172, improving urban resilience during COVID-19 pandemic by implementing smart city initiative. A case of Tangerang City, Indonesia. The author, Ratih Dia Kusuma Astuti, Nurmala, Juliana Rowley, Lady Trialdi, and Rahayu Sapetri. The affiliation of author, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Indonesia. Continue, please. That's all. So again, congratulations for all of the author as the best paper author as well as also as the presenter. Now I back again to Mrs. Anissa Mayangsari as MC. Please.
Okay, thank you. And congratulations to all the winners of the best paper and the best presenter. And also thank you very much, Mr. Ahyuddin Sodri, as a moderator today. This is the end of the professional talk. Thank you for participating in our professional talk of the Third International Symposium of Earth, Energy, Environmental Science, and Sustainable Development 2022. And for another announcement is the certificate for our presenters and participants will be available in the next 7 days. So just waiting for the certificate. And this event is organized by the Journal of Environmental Science and Sustainable Development, School of Environmental Science, University of Indonesia, and supported by Danone Indonesia, Indo Koperasi Kepolisian Negara Republik Indonesia, PT Arlindo Grafimedia, PT Riau Andalan Pulp and Paper, Bank Rakyat Indonesia, APP Sinarmas, Harita Nickel, Green Rara Consulting, Pertamina Patra Niaga, Starbond Chemical, PT Prima Kana Energi, PT Waskita Karya, Roatex, One Global Synergy, Lintas Arta. We hope that you will learn valuable lessons from today's discussion and create innovations for global sustainable development. Thank you very much, and I will see you at our next event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Dr. Harifi, Pak Dr.